Hey guys, David here again from Disney for Brits. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope you've had a great few days, whatever you're doing. I'm back again to talk about quick tips, which we're now calling top 5, and it's the top 5 things in specific themes. Before I go ahead, if you're thinking about a Disney holiday next year, and we're hoping things are going to be a whole lot better, don't forget to check out my travel page, Disney for Brits, or D4B Travel, where I can get you the best prices of Disney holidays that are out there. I've got loads of supplies, it's ABTA protected, and the great thing is you get me, not the microphone then, you get me to help guide you on all things Disney and Universal. So check it out. Please like and share the page. Similarly, please like and share. I'll put a little thing down here about liking and sharing this page as well, so that you get notified, and don't forget to click the little bell and you'll get notified when I do another video. So on to today's Disney for Brits quick tips top 5. So I'm going to talk about park tips this time, and whilst these generally apply to Magic Kingdom, actually they pretty much work for any of the parks that have got a way round. So Magic Kingdom works, Hollywood Studios less so, that's a little bit more complicated, Animal Kingdom definitely, and Epcot yes, although Epcot there's lots of work going on at the moment. So think about this specifically for the Magic Kingdom and for Animal Kingdom. So let's go. Number 1, first hint and tip, turn left. We are naturally coded that when we go into places we go right, we go anti-clockwise, and that's great if that's what you want to do, but if everybody's going that way, you want to go this way. So an example, in the Magic Kingdom, a lot of people will walk straight up Main Street, up to the plaza and turn right to go into Tomorrowland. Don't do that. Turn left and go into Adventureland, Frontierland, getting my parts confused. And then you can go and do things like Thunder Mountain and work your way around Splash Mountain when it's back up and running. But go that way round and you'll find the majority of people have gone to Tomorrowland and you're straight onto the rides that you want to do. The only difference in this is obviously if you've got fast passes, but then you can schedule your fast passes for later in the day and still go left, and this works both for the Animal Kingdom as well. Most people, to be fair, are going to be going left because they'll be going to Pandora. Hollywood Studios, slightly different. Epcot, when you go across, you can go right or left, but definitely Magic Kingdom and Hollywood, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, definitely going to work for you, and Animal Kingdom. Said I was doing it in one take. Second thing to remember is a thing called rope drop. Back in years gone by, when the parks used to open early, they used to have people holding ropes across and you couldn't go past them. At the Magic Kingdom, a train would arrive and there'd be the characters on there, and at Animal Studios, Mickey would turn, all kinds of things. That's all been scaled down, but there's still a thing called rope drop, and rope drop means getting to the park before the park opens. Now, this is a great one to do when you've travelled from the UK and it's your first full day in Florida, because bing, you're going to be awake at 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock, certainly the kids are. Get yourself up and early, get yourself to a park between an hour to half an hour before it opens. That way you'll be right at the front of the park and you'll be ready to go in as soon as they open. Don't run, the cast members will not want you to run, but do have a game plan as well. If you're at the Magic Kingdom and you want to do 7 Dwarfs, make your way straight through to 7 Dwarfs. If you're at Animal Kingdom and you want to do Pandora, left to Pandora. If you're going to Hollywood Studios and you want to go to Galaxy's Edge, make your way over to there. So know where you're going to go, download some maps before you go. Rope drop's a great thing to do. What you can also then do is come out as soon as you're done. So when it gets to lunchtime, when the park's getting to its busiest, come away. Come away, go back to your hotel, have a rest, have a swim, have a chill, and then go back in later. This is, of course, once everything is back, like park hopping. Number 3, especially for those of you staying on Walt Disney World resorts, you can send purchases to your room. So you'll see people walking around with bags and bags of stuff. If you're staying in a Walt Disney World resort, you don't have to do that. When you pay for your goods, ask them to send them to your room, and this works in any of the parks, any of the water parks and in Disney Springs as well, the Disney shops there. Just say, can I have it sent it to my hotel, please? They'll do it the next day, so you need to still be there the next day in the afternoon. You'll fill out a form, you'll get a sheet, and then when you get back to your hotel, some point the next day, probably in the afternoon, you'll have a phone call or pop in when you get back there, have the bit of paper, and you'll get given your goods, and you won't have been schlapping around the parks with them. So if you're staying in a Walt Disney World resort, you can have things sent to your room. They actually send them to reception at your hotel and you pick them up, but it's so much easier than carrying it around. Number 4, fast passes. Fast passes, as I record this in December, are not in operation yet, but they will be coming back next year. A little hint and tip on your fast passes: book your fast passes early. If you're staying in a Magic Kingdom resort, it will be 60 days. If you're staying elsewhere, it will be 30 days. The only difference being some Disney Springs resorts give you 60 days. Book them early. Now, the great thing for us Brits is we tend to go for a week or two, so there's a good chance you'll be able to get all of the rides that you want to do. So maybe not concentrate on the first few days. When you're on day 60 and it comes on stream, I think it's about 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, have your plan ready and get on and book them, and then they're done. Don't book early starts on days that have got extra magic hours. So let me say that again. Don't do early starts on days that have got extra magic hours. Extra magic hours for people staying on Walt Disney resorts and certain Disney Springs resorts are when you can go into the park 1 hour early than anybody else. So guess what? The parks get busy earlier. So don't use those parks for rope drops. Always try and do a rope drop, my previous hint, on a day when there's not been an early magic hour. Make sense? I think so. Number 5. Things to keep in your bag. So when you're going into the parks, you will have to go through security. At the moment, the security is temperature screening and everything else. But it's a good idea to have a bag with you for one person in your party. Everybody else can just walk through, but that one person should have a number of things. Make sure you've got sunscreen, factor 50, factor 100. The Florida sun is relentless and nobody wants to be burnt, and I talk about that from experience. Make sure that you've got something to drink. I take those little squirty bottles of juice, where you can just put a couple of squirts in. It makes the rather unpalatable Disney World water that you can get for free anywhere better to drink. So definitely do that. You can take food in with you. You can take food and drink in with you. Just don't weigh yourself down with it, but you can take that in with you. It's a good idea to take some wet wipes in because you're going to get mucky. If it's really, really hot, get some of these wet towels that you can buy that you run them under cold water, you snap them and they get you cold. And I talk in some other hints and tips about buying all that stuff before you get to Disney, because you're going to get it for less than half, maybe less than even quarter of the price. So put a few things in the bags with you. Make sure you've got pens if you've got people wanting to do autographs. Make sure you've got charger packs. Make sure you've got cables. So there's a whole lot of things that it's really worth you keeping in one bag, and just have one person with the bag. If you've got somebody going through with a pushchair, have the bag with them because they're going to get searched anyway. So there we go. Park tips. 5 park tips. Number 1, turn left. Number 2, get there early, half an hour to an hour before the park opens for rock drop. Number 3, if you're staying in a Walt Disney World hotel, send purchases to your hotel and pick them up from reception. Number 4, book your fast passes early, either 30 days or 60 days in advance, depending on where you're going. And an extra hint there, don't rope drop on extra magic hours. And number 5, things to keep in your bag. Everything from sunblock to cold towels to juice to crisps to snacks to chargers to phone cables. There we go. I try and do these as quick as I can and compress as much information as I can. I'd love to know what you think about it. Tell me what else you would have as your park tips. I think the other one I would add is get a map, and get a map before you go and try and work your way around. It just makes things a whole lot easier. please subscribe and like to the channel. Please check me out on Facebook. Also, if you're looking at anything for a holiday next year, it doesn't have to be Disney. I can do anything for you. Check out D4B Travel on Facebook, or even look for it, d4btravel.com, and you can get your own prices for things. Everything that you book there, you get me. I'm not coming with you, but I am going to be giving you advice and guidance and help to make your Disney holiday the most magical ever. So there we go, another 5 hints and tips. It's been great talking to you once again. I'm David from D4B Travel and Disney for Brits. It's been an absolute pleasure, and as our pal Mickey says, I'll see you real soon.